Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, because right now Bitcoin is breaking down below the 0.5 Fibonacci level, sitting at 65.2K. So right now we have about 4 hours to close back above this level at 65.2K. Otherwise, we have to say we lost this as a level of support. So after that, then the next Fibonacci level below that is the 0.382 Fibonacci level, sitting at 63.2K, roughly speaking. So this could be potentially a level where the price will get attracted to. And then from there, you need to see if this holds as a level of support. So these are two important price levels to pay attention to. Although I would say that if we do get that daily candle close above the 65.2K level, well, in that case, we could be bouncing back to the upside here. For example, up to these previous highs, but potentially even all the way back up to this 0.618 Fibonacci level, sitting at 67.2K. And I do think there are more reasons as to why the price potentially can get attracted to this level, but I will get to that a little bit later on in the video, because I do think that for now, the biggest priority is actually this 0.5 Fibonacci level. Now, of course, we must take into consideration some of the bearish signals that have been flashing over the last couple of days. For example, this hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, which is when you have lower highs in the Bitcoin price and higher highs in the Bitcoin RSI. And typically this means that you either get a break from all of the bullish momentum, so chopping around sideways, or getting some bearish momentum. And that is exactly what we have seen so far ever since confirming this hidden bearish divergence. Now, in terms of invalidation, it would actually be if you see the price trading back above this trend line, or if you see the RSI trading above this trend line right here. And another bearish signal here on the daily time frame is actually this RSI downtrend on the 1-day time frame, where recently we got a rejection from this level once again, and then sending the price down much lower after also breaking back inside this range here. Of course, if you have been watching my videos recently, you know that I flipped bearish as soon as we broke back inside this range at about 70,000 US dollars. And since flipping bearish, we have seen nothing but bearish momentum in the short term here. So when will I actually be flipping much more bullish again? Well, one indicator I will be looking at is actually a break of this downtrend on the RSI. However, since this is on the 1-day time frame, it can be pretty far away, from a couple of days all the way to a couple of weeks before we actually see this break. And by then, especially if you get a move up like this, the price will actually likely have reverted already a lot back to the upside. So there will also need to be some other indicators that I am taking a look at, but they will be on the lower time frames, and I will share them in my videos as I spot them. So for example, on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin right here, taking a look at the support and resistance, well, right now Bitcoin is trading below this level of support, sitting from 66 all the way down to 65,000 US dollars. And right now it looks like Bitcoin is getting rejected from this level of previous support, potentially flipping it into resistance. But I do want to see some more candle closes below this level before then confirming it as a level of resistance. Either way, if you do see the price continue to trade to the downside after I post this video, well, likely we are heading at least to this level of support, sitting at 63.6K. And if you see the price trading below that 63.6K level, well, in that case, we are likely heading lower to this big level of support, sitting from 62.4 all the way down to 60,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Although on the flip side, if Bitcoin now holds this as a level of support and starts reversing back to the upside, back above this 66K level, in that case, we are likely heading up to this short-term level of resistance, sitting at 67.2K. And of course, this also aligns with that 0.618 Fibonacci level that I was talking about earlier. And if we really start getting some bullish momentum here, so trading above that Fibonacci level and holding it as a level of support, well, in that case, we are likely heading up to this next big level of resistance, sitting from 68.5 all the way up to 70,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And personally, one thing that I continue to look out for, which is also another thing that I want to see at the very least before flipping more bullish again, is this RSI downtrend on the 4-hour time frame. Because so long as we are still in this downtrend, I continue to just be a little bit more bearish because the RSI will just be trending lower and lower over time, so long as we don't break the trend line, which of course indicates bearish momentum in the Bitcoin price. However, if we start seeing the Bitcoin RSI on the 4-hour time frame breaking above, potentially retesting this and like holding it as support or something like that, and then bouncing from there, well, in that case, I might be flipping more bullish again, at least in the short term, because yes, we are in a larger downtrend, but of course we got to remember that if we zoom out far enough, we are still clearly in an uptrend, otherwise known as the bull market. So I do think that at some point we are reversing back to the upside, but for now we are just in a shorter term downtrend within that larger uptrend, right? So before flipping more bullish in the short term, at the very least, you want to see a break of this RSI downtrend. Now, in terms of the Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, first of all, on this 1 week time frame, it is pretty clear that, yeah, we have just been taking out a lot of liquidity to the downside here. However, now most of the liquidity on this time frame is to the upside. So we can see the price get attracted to this level if we start seeing Bitcoin holding those support levels, as well as the bullish indicators, for example, on that 4-hour RSI. If they start confirming, then I do think we can go to this 67.7K level, roughly speaking, in order to actually sweep all of this liquidity. And in the case that you don't know, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart, so where there are the most yellow areas on this chart. And right now that is to the upside on this time frame. Although zooming in a little bit to the 3-day time frame, we get some mixed signals here, and that's actually why I wanted to show the 1 week time frame first, because it just provides a clearer picture. However, on the 3-day time frame, there's also liquidity to the downside as low as 63.9K. So there isn't too much information we can gather from this, because the price can get attracted to this level on the downside as well as this level on the upside. However, on the higher time frames, it is clear that most of the liquidity is to the upside. So therefore, I continue to have the opinion that I do think that at some point we are going back to the upside, but potentially we just need to sweep more downside liquidity first, and I need to wait for some bullish confirmation signals before I can flip more bullish once again. Now, if this is your first time watching the channel here, I highly recommend you go check out the Discord community as well. Currently, we have about 800 members in here, so it's very active community of people that are trading crypto every day, as well as sharing their analysis. I also share my analysis in there in real time. So go check that out. You can find the link to this with the first link in the description of this video you are watching right now. This has been today's market update. Thank you for watching once again. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.